know if I would have the effrontery and the guts to hit a spiritual creature that raises people from the dead or kills them, because that creature would appear in the night and be like,
oh, okay, Dide, it's time for you to die. How dare you hit me? Oh yeah. What is lie down or die in Yoruba? Cool. Yeah, you got the gist.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Siri. If this is your first time seeing me, make sure to not make it your last, okay? Today we're going to be reviewing the latest and the greatest Nigerian movie on Netflix right now, which is Anikulapo. I don't know, but you guys get the gist. I'm very excited. This movie was so good that it actually made me from my little sabbatical on movie reviews, and I was like, you know what, I have to come and do a review. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Let me starting out with the plot. What is this movie about? Okay, so Anikulapo is about a young traveler from Bogon and also a clothes maker called Ofi, and he's traveling through Oyo town or Oyo village or settlement, whatever you want to call it, and he's there to kind of like reinvent himself. He's just, you know, left his master, and in this place, in trying to reinvent himself, he falls into, you know, he gets himself into a forbidden relationship with the king's favorite and youngest wife, which leads to his demise, his death, and resurrection. Yes, he woke up from the dead. And he now has this power to raise people from the dead as well. He did get the power from his lover, who eventually became his wife, because she stole the power to resurrect people from the dead from the mystical creature Akala when he came to actually, you know, decide if Saro should live or die. I think the movie was good, but it wasn't the greatest. And what takes a movie from being good to great is the storytelling. In as much as I love this story, a lot of things made it good, but not necessarily the story in itself. The way it started out and the trailer left all of us, I'm speaking for all of us, we were super duper excited and we had very high expectations. Were my expectations met? No. Were they dashed completely to the floor and shattered into a million pieces? No. So they left me in between. The beginning was very intriguing, very exciting. You know, they showed us a guy with a butchered face who was apparently with such wounds supposed to be dead, and that's Saro I'm talking about, by the way. You know, he woke up, they told us about the bird Akala that would decide if people would live or die, and I thought that was brilliant. I was like, oh my god, I can't wait. You know, they had set the scene, they had set the stage, you know, they talked about Oyo. It was very authentic in the beginning, so all of that was already gingering me. If you get what I mean. I don't know if you felt the same way. And then it took a while for the story to actually find its direction, like its headway. Not like the story, but for me to get what it was about, right? It took a good 20, 30 minutes for me to get the gist. Like, for me, I didn't see the significance of Sola Sobowale. I might be wrong, but she just had a sudden interest in him. Okay, I get it, he's a fine boy, because they kept making reference to that. Okay, he was the hottest thing since sliced bread that walked into Oyo town, right? You know, hot boy shit and all of that good stuff. So every woman wanted to be with him. I get that, but they portrayed Sola as someone who was, you know, powerful. She could do whatever she wanted, and it just left me wanting more. Like, the way her scenes just ended, it's like, okay, so why did you make me invested in her, right? And then I wanted more of the traditional Yoruba historical story thing. Like, I wanted them to talk more about that Akala. I wanted Akala, the bird, to have more to it, aside from just showing it flying and flapping its smoky wings that did not exist. You know, I don't know if you get it. Please, if you get what I'm talking about, please let me know in the comments below, because I was a little bit frustrated with that. I felt like this was such a huge platform for us to push our traditional stories, and I get it, because if you strip it down, from all this Oyo, scenery, Bobo Tigbo. It's a very basic story. If you get what I mean, right? Is a story of a babe cheating with her. It's the story of side chick issue, right? Because the king's wife was a main chick and she decided to demote herself to a side chick, and we all know what happens to side chicks, right? You remain a side chick because the man's gonna do what he's gonna do, right? And he eventually got other chicks because
men like Nash.
it was a nyashy situation, okay? It was a very nyashy, sticky situation. So it was the typical story of hell had no fury as a woman scorned. You know, she loved him, she gave him everything, she risked her life for him. She literally risked her life because I don't know if I would have the effrontery and the guts to hit a spiritual creature that raises people from the dead or kills them, because that creature, if it was a typical Yoruba movie, would appear in the night and be like,
Arolake, it's time for you to die. How dare you hit me? Oh yeah.
What is lie down or die in Yoruba? Cool. Yeah, you get the gist. But yeah, and I'm trying to make light of it, but I hope you guys get the message I'm trying to pass here. It took a while for it to develop, and when we eventually got to the crux of the matter, it became predictable. Yeah, I knew how it was gonna end. First of all, let's talk about that scene where, you know, Saro goes to the palace, and because he's the finest thing since sliced bread, you know, everybody's like looking at him, and he of course falls in love with Arolake first sight, right? He sees her beauty and he's like, oh my god, I cannot do without you. We get that, right? But what was so funny was the way Arolake jumped him on his way home in the night. I'm like, wait. Please let me know in the comment section if you paused and you rewinded that part, because I was like, I don't understand what just happened. Did she? As far as I'm concerned, sis raped the dude. Sis raped the dude because there was no consent. There was no time for consent. That part was actually funny, and I was like, wait, are you trying to tell me that my ancestors used to jump men? Because it was just mad. It was just mad. Like, I get it, he was attracted to her, so technically speaking, there was some self-consent, right? It's a very tricky line, but it was just ridiculous. It was ridiculous. I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. You know, in the middle of the night, if you're jumping me, if I'm a guy, that's giving me witchy vibes. I don't know if it was necessary for us to see that nude scene. Again, maybe we as Nigerians, typically over the years, our Nollywood movies have been very conservative. We've seen people try to push that envelope and show some nude scenes, but sometimes I feel like if you're gonna show a nude scene, for example, there were some nude scenes in one of these Kunle Afolayan's movie, the one at the moment right now, I don't know, the name literally just escaped my head. I'm gonna put a picture of the movie I'm talking about, where they were like selling the girls, you know. It made sense. In this case of Arolake and Saro having sex, I don't see how their nudity added to that scene, how it made it authentic or inauthentic. For me, it was just very, we have the budget, we're on this huge platform, we're trying to prove to people that we're not as conservative as they are, so here you go, look at Bimbo Ademoye's breast and look at Kunle Remi's ass. You know, I didn't exactly dig it. I just felt like it was completely unnecessary. So on to the next thing. Let's talk about acting, cast and characters. Okay, I think the acting from every single cast member was brilliant. We had, of course, like the most popular ones. I'm not going to mention all their names, but of course, noteworthy, we have to mention her royal greatest formidable self, Sola Sobowale. She was in it. Kunle Remi was actually the main person, and in terms of like the female lead, we had Bimbo Ademoye that was playing Arolake. I think two of them, Kunle and Bimbo, did so well. They really sold me on the characters. I really liked how they told the story of that character, Saro. Saro is someone that you want to root for at the very beginning, because he's this stranger, he's trying to find his feet, he's loyal to his mistress, who is also his boss, that's played by Sola Sobowale, and he's even hurt when he finds out that she's cheating on him, and even though people had told him in the village before that, oh, if you follow this woman, this is what she will do to you, he still gave her the benefit of the doubt. So I think the way they developed his character to make you root for him and expect him to find love in a hopeless place. To be honest, even when he fell in love with Arolake, the king's favorite wife, I was still low-key rooting for them. I was like, this is forbidden love, and I get it. It's gonna be a sticky situation. I still had mercy on him. I still pitied him. As a matter of fact, let me even say this, that he was a good person until Arolake came into his life. If you agree, say yeah. Sure, no, scratch that. Don't say yeah. Hit the like button, okay? If you agree with me, hit the like button right now, because she led him to become a darker version of himself. If you disagree, still hit the like button. Why do I say so? Because like I mentioned, the best part, the beginning part, we saw this character actually want to be more, want to actually be good at his trade, want to be faithful to one woman and all of that. And eventually he found love, right? And she was the one who was coming to him, tempting him night after night. He even recognized that he had messed up when Sola Sobowale actually talked to him and told him, oh, you're taking from something that you shouldn't be taken out of and all of that. And he wanted to end the relationship, as a matter of fact. But she insisted. She was like, oh, I love you. And they exchanged sad stories. I hate shit like that. Just saying. They exchanged sad stories, and then he changed his mind. And that was the beginning of the end for him, So for me, I loved what they did with his character. They made us love him up until that point. He even died for love. That's a little bit heroic. And then in the second life, because now he's living a new life, he is now more ungrateful, he's boastful, he's gotten, he's wealthy. He now has this power, and he feels, I can do whatever I like, So it was very interesting. He's someone you're rooting for in the beginning, and then towards the end, you're like, this guy, you're just an idiot, and you deserve to die. I can't lie, he did look good towards the end. Like, what? That mustache? I was tripping for that mustache. it was giving. It wasn't not giving. It was giving. Hit the like button if you feel it was giving. And then if we now talk about the female lead, Arolake, I loved the way Bimbo Ademoye portrayed that character. I think she killed it. There was never a time where it was unbelievable. I saw a woman who desperately wanted to be loved, who wanted someone that treasured her, not just for her sexual prowess or powers or whatever, but someone who actually saw her beyond being a baby making machine. I felt hurt, when he took not one but two wives. I was just like, dude, this woman literally defined, she went through thick and thin for you. She risked her life and got that and brought you back to life, literally. Carried your broken, beat up ass through rocks, rivers, and mountains and whatnot. Even went as far as eating the unripe pawpaw just so that you're happy. And I think the ultimate sacrifice was the fact that she gave him the power that could have easily been hers. Like, she could have been the one doing baby did, but no, she did not. She gave it to him. Even when he had the power, he was clueless as to the power that he had and how that could help them be financially stable, comfortable in this new place. She let him into it, and all that he could repay her with was going to get extra cash. Sad. Now let's move on to costume, makeup, and hair. You guys already know how I feel about this one. It was excellent, 100%. they so got the Yoruba essence from their costume to the hair to the makeup to the tribal marks. Oh my god, those people don't actually have tribal, like a few people have tribal marks, yeah, but like I know Kunle Remi doesn't have those tribal marks, yeah, but it looked so good. Even if that was painted on, it didn't look like it was painted on. Like, it was that good that I had to make note of that. I was like, I have to talk about it. Like, the makeup, perfection. And of course, the outfits. Ooh, child, see, there's a reason why I'm wearing this today. Is in the spirit of what I saw. By the way, if you like my outfit, you make sure to shop from Inbili Fashion. I digress. But I love their outfits, the Asho Ofi, the Adire, the blue. I love also the fact that they showed us how some of those things were made. Oh, it was very cool to watch. I also love their hairdos. It gave me hot. It reminded me of my time growing up in Nigeria when I was going to boarding school in Ipetumodu, which is not far from Bogon, by the way. Bogon, where Saro is from. Yeah, I used to pass by there on my way to secondary school when I was much younger. Another thing I want to talk about is the location and cinematography. This just added another dimension of awesomeness to this movie. The location, I don't know where they shot it, but it was good. It was definitely in Nigeria. I feel like they did it somewhere in the West. I don't know where exactly, but that little kingdom-esque place they created, I was sold. I believed it. I loved it. The picture quality just then added another layer of gloss. I'm trying to look for the word. Gloss is not the word. It gave it this boost of greatness, of perfection. Like, I was like, Kunle Afolayan, you have done it. Like, my husband was actually watching it with me, and he didn't like watch the whole thing, but he watched a few bits, and he was like, wow, picture quality is epic. Like, it was that good. The only downside, and I don't like to be a Debbie Downer, is the CGI effects with the Akala bed. I didn't like it. I just felt like they could have just used the normal black ribbon. Like, it didn't have to be that deep. I feel like sometimes we overthink things and we want to push the envelope, but we don't need CGI for that. that's just how I feel. I feel like a black bird would have worked. So now, final thoughts. What did I think about this movie? I think it was a good movie. Like I said, it's not the greatest movie I've ever seen. Will I see it again? Yes, I plan to watch it again with some of my friends. And I would rate this movie 8 over 10 because I think it was good. Aside from me wanting more from the story, I think every other thing was great about this movie, and I would recommend, if you haven't seen it, I'm sure if you got to this part of this video, you have seen it. So yeah, make sure to check out this new series. My wedding series is super duper interesting. I think, and I know you would definitely enjoy it. And remember to like, share, and subscribe. Okay, until next time, bye. Latest Nigerian movie, Anikulapo. Aníkúlápó. Blah. Okay.